We're talking about future content for Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, as with the recent announcement of Treyarch no longer working on the game mode, Sledgehammer Games are picking up the pieces, and there's a chance that they are going to be shaking up the mode quite a bit. In this video, we're discussing potential Season 4 and Season 5 news found by data miners and leakers over on Twitter. With that being said, this is all stuff that's been discovered by them in the game files, but when it comes to games development, anything is subject to change. So take all of this with a little pinch of salt, as anything can change at any point. Diving straight in, one of the biggest controversial talking points that's been added continuously over the last few seasons is references and systems to a PvE mode within MWZ. The latest Season 3 update, even more PvP stuff was added in the files, and we know a lot more that could be coming thanks to @AlanTheThird90 on Twitter. He shared a ton of references to different contracts that exist within the PvP mode, and this was only added with the Season 3 update. Some of these references include bounty contracts, a bounty squad contract, squad reassign strings so that players can leave teams, join new teams. What's also interesting is there are several references to weapon cases being acquired either by an enemy, by acquired and extracted by an enemy, or acquired by yourself. Now, this is really interesting because the last time we've seen a weapon case mechanic inside of Call of Duty was in DMZ back in MW2, where there was one significant boss AI that you had to take down. It would drop a weapon case and you'd be able to pick it up and exfil with it, and you'd gain up to 6 unique rewards for doing so. But because of this weapon case and the way it works, once you pick it up, anyone in the game can track exactly where that weapon case is at all times. So if that is the case, that they're adding it in, this is sounding a lot like a DMZ hybrid than anything else, which is really weird to see them basically adding DMZ into Modern Warfare Zombies rather than the mode just being DMZ from the offset. And as alarming as this all sounds, AlanTheThird90 also was able to find out that the PvPVE mode that we're talking about is a map event which is inside the normal Modern Warfare Zombies, which means in theory, if it is to come to the game, it would activate like a story exfil, where you would activate it, you'd wait for it to infill and take you out, and you'd be put into a brand new session. The only difference being that PvP would be enabled within that session. He was also able to find out that Commander Green would be talking to you during the infill into this new mode. And according to him as well, within the code of the game, there is simply an option for them to enable or disable it at any point in time. Now, none of this is confirmed, but according to @AlanTheThird90 and other leakers on Twitter, there is currently no coding in the game for a Season 4 end cinematic cutscene. It goes from Season 3 straight to Season 5, meaning that there might not be a cutscene with Season 4. On top of that, there is no coding for a Season 4 Rift Gate unlock or a Season 4 Rift mission completion. According to Hey I'm Alex, there is coding for the Season 3 Rift Gate unlock and mission complete, and then it jumps straight to Season 5. And if that is the case, then it adds a bit more weight to the idea that Season 4 is going to be a PvPVE focused season, which would be really surprising and interesting to see them do, because it would be a slight variation on the same copy and paste format we've seen with the Dark Aether rifts. Now, @AlanTheThird90 was able to find a ton of seasonal rift items that haven't been used yet, which we're going to use in future seasons to open up a new Dark Aether rift. Some of those items he's found are both for Season 5 and for a new contract that might be added in the future called a Relic Hunt contract, which is to use an item called an Aether counter, which will be very similar to the nuclear radiation contracts in DMZ, where you'd pick them up and then use them to try and find different radioactive areas around the map. But in this case, it is a relic hunt, and the Aether counter is a device that displays signatures of the closest Aether object. And the Aether objects that have been found within the code relate to Ravenov, as well as different items from Ava during various points in her life, such as items she had as a child, as a teenager, and as an adult. But what's interesting is it's all labeled under a character called Dark Ava, essentially hinting at the identity of who this dark entity is within the Dark Aether that we've seen throughout Season 1. We've been teased that Season 3 is going to have a big reveal to do with the entity. I'd love to know your thoughts down below about a PvPVE mode inside MWZ if it does happen. Again, we have no idea, but just from interpretation, the leakers are suggesting that Season 4 could be an entirely PvPVE related season. And very soon after the release of Modern Warfare Zombies, we did see that PvP was enabled for some players in lobbies very sporadically, which could have been them testing it and could be the smallest glimpse of what this could be. But if we look at this logically, it doesn't make a ton of sense for them them to be adding PvP this late into the game's life? Because surely if they were going to do it, they would have done it at the very beginning, because I'm sure the idea of it was toyed a ton before the actual release of the mode. And what these leakers could be revealing is simply just that, a ton of development work that was done on the PvP version of the game, but that development was never fully finished. But that's not to say that Sledgehammer Games wouldn't pick up the pieces and try and finish it. When it comes to Sledgehammer Games, over the years with their last games like World War II and Vanguard, they made massive changes to the game midway through to appeal and appease the fans that might have left, and there's every chance that they could really shake things up with the final seasons of Modern Warfare Zombies. Of course, at the end of the day, Treyarch have that storyline that they're going to be telling throughout all of the seasons with those cutscenes, so everything needs to make sense, line up with the vision that Treyarch had for all of the seasonal content. Another huge addition that could be coming to the game with Season 3 Reloaded, and if not, definitely Season 4 or 5, is introduction of a wallet system. The exfil streak system was leaked for months inside the game files, and it finally arrived with Season 2 Reloaded, and the wallet system could finally be added with Season 3 Reloaded, as according to @SemTexLeaks on Twitter, minus a few tweaks, the feature is essentially ready to ship to the public, and that if this feature hasn't been cut, we should be receiving it very soon. And this tweet includes a bare bones menu that shows you can add the amount by +1000, -1000, max the amount, clear the wallet, or update the wallet. Now, this was a feature that was in the DMZ mode, so it's likely this has just been carried over and slightly adapted. If it works the same, then you should be able to exfil and fill this wallet with up to 1,000,000 points, so you can bring that in to a future infill. As far as other contracts and activities that could come to the game, there is coding for a helicopter convoy. It's exactly like the current armored convoy, but this would be with helicopters. There would also be a helicopter cargo activity, which is a helicopter that will fly and have cargo that will drop it if it's shot down, which we saw in Cold War's Outbreak. There is also coding for a hostage contract, very similar to what we saw in DMZ. And Alan III also recently found in the files a soul lock activity, which is very similar to Outbreak's golden chest activity, where there's a golden chest somewhere on the map, and by activating it, you release a demon dark ether spirit, and you need to then fill the chest with zombie soul kills in order for it to activate and give you the rewards inside. And I think having this makes sense because there's a lot of other things that were in Outbreak that aren't currently in NWZ. And with this mode being Outbreak 2.0, it makes sense for there to be everything from the original Outbreak and more. What is interesting is right at the very beginning of the game's release, there was a new alternate ammo type that was discovered called Shadow Vortex. Now, we don't know if this is ever going to make it into the game or if it was a cut AAT, but wouldn't it be awesome for there to finally be some sort of new alternate ammo type added into Zombies, as we've had the exact same ones since Black Ops 3. We've never had any different ones. And another objective within the files we haven't seen yet is the return of the Holdout contract. This is apparently going to spawn a temporary portal, very likely to the Dark Ether, that will take you to a holdout area where, very similar to an Outlast, there is going to be a PND that you're going to have to activate, and there's going to be 3 different stages where there's going to be infinite spawns of zombies that you're going to need to take out and survive before going through to the next phase. Now, if you recall back at the start of Season 2, one of the questions we asked Treyarch on the creator call was if there was going to be any new perks, and they said no, but there is an icon for an updated Mule Kick perk, which is found within the DeWanderFizz menu in the files, and it does actually look a little bit different to the way that it was styled within Cold War's WanderFizz. So it seems that they were at least planning on bringing Mule Kick if there is an actual updated graphic for it in the WanderFizz, but I don't know if we're ever going to see it in the game or not. But with us now knowing that Sledgehammer Games are taking over development, there is a great chance that some of the community suggestions and features that they want to see in Zombies could actually be a thing before the end of the seasonal content. So I'd love to know what you want to see them add into Zombies. Of course, we've got that wallet system that's heavily rumored. I really hope it comes into the game. I don't know how plausible it would be, but it would be so cool if after all of the individual Dark Ether rifts are added, there's a way for them to stitch all of those POIs together into one massive open world map and spice it up a little bit so it's like Urzikstan, but a smaller version in the Dark Ether with that constant sigil / Elder Sigil level of difficulty. So much potential with MWZ in my opinion, and I really hope that we get to see Sledgehammer stretch their creative legs with the time that they have left, whilst Treyarch are cooking up Gulf War's round-based zombies. As soon as we get any official updates on what's coming to MWZ, I'll be sure to update you, so be sure to subscribe with the bell tick, leave a like if you enjoyed, and check out this video on your screen right now.